Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couch Crunch Podcast. On this episode, Down are just going to be talking about some AI stuff. Definitely, it's a big topic, especially that it's definitely consuming the world as we speak at this time.
Yeah,
And
no gas, no brakes. Like it's going full frontal. Like ever since 2020, it's nonstop everywhere.
now, be mindful. I haven't really personally I didn't do too much research on like some of the AI stuff of like what is it actually what is it actually doing as far as the marketing system or like just in general. I haven't really peeked into that field. So Don, you're probably most likely going to be educating me on this episode, so you can go ahead and start us off on that, man.
Yeah, I first want to say too is like I'm not too well rounded in certain areas, some of these categories that I'm going to be covering, but yeah, for the most part, it's like from music to video to animation to even speech to text. It's covering a big variety of like different categories and like job applications where it's like going to be taking over if not already, So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy because even like as recently, it's like you'll see like I've been seeing like all these trending videos recently of like it'd be a video of of voiceovers of Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Obama like playing like a Dark Souls game on YouTube, and it wouldn't be them obviously, but it would be the AI alteration of their voice, and it would be like a generated conversation of them playing the game. And
Hex builds are fucking great and is the best form of magic in this game. Don't tell me you didn't have fun back in vanilla when DS2 Faith builds were ridiculously broken, you lying sack of shit.
Guys, I bet you were one of those people that spammed lightning spears in every fucking arena matchup like an idiot. I can't believe that shit was so broken back then. I'm glad it got nerfed. You should have seen me dancing over the crying faces of every Faith player.
I've seen your fucking dancing and you look like a
Guys, I've made my decision. I'm going to go with a cleric.
Ah, fuck, damn it.
Kind of crazy that something like that already exists, that you can just like fake somebody's voice like that. Yeah.
So it can actually like somehow copy the voice of them as themselves? Like I don't.
Yeah. Like it's even like another one where I've seen like that's been going around on YouTube as well is a Joe Rogan podcast. Like they take Joe's voice.
Oh yeah, Joe and a couple of his guests that's been on his show, man. All they do is actually try. There's actually one episode where they actually try to really have a conversation with the bot itself, and there's certain things that the bot can actually be able to communicate. And I think that's that's basically the functionality of a lot of bots. I mean, I couldn't really tell you. I think all bots are completely different. There might be some that's more educated than others. But the one that they were testing on one episode, I couldn't remember it right off the top of my head, but yeah, they definitely, like, the bot itself was basically responding to where it was like self-aware of the fact, like it couldn't really answer the specific question they were asking it. So, I mean, to think about a machine that is capable of at least self-awareness, that it can't even, like, it's pretty much explaining, like, I'm not programmed to answer that question. Like, that is, to me, that is crazy, right? Like, that's something to even think about, because a couple of years ago, I think AI has always been around to a certain degree, and to my knowledge.
Yeah, like the GPS,
it wasn't as, obviously it wasn't as smart as it was in today's society, but because obviously, more people just keep trying to find ways to see, like, how can it become more advanced, and how can it actually be beneficial for in today's society. I mean, obviously technology itself is advancing so much as it is. But just pertaining to AI specifically, I don't think that it's like a hit and miss. Like, because honestly, there's some things that if I would like to ask it, I don't want to be as lazy as like, oh, if it can have AI that can actually just do my laundry or freaking do chores around the house or anything like that. Like, I don't know if
Like a
maybe,
maid.
yeah, like it'll definitely be a lot more lazier for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's
Um,
funny that you bring that up because it's already like a Android in development. Well, it's already been made in a studio called Halo Die that pretty much like goes around like the house. It does dishes, it cooks food, and it's like on a wheel, and it travels around that way, and it can pick up stuff like clothes or like dishes off the floor,
is
and
it
it
you said it's Halo Die? Is that
yeah,
how do you pronounce that? I mean, is it spelled Die like
yeah,
DIE or like?
like well, it's spelled like
Oh, okay, gotcha.
HALODI.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, it's like an Android that's been in the works. It's supposed to be releasing actually this year in the summer 2023. So it's pretty crazy, and it's made by Neo Eve. It's interesting.
Neo
It's funny
Eve.
because I know on Elon Musk is supposed to be making his own Android similar to that
Oh
as
man.
well pretty soon.
Elon himself is an android, in my opinion. I just think that there's a lot going on with Elon
Yeah, it's funny
specifically.
'cause he's trying to get rid of bots on Twitter currently. Ever since he owned it, like he's trying to get rid
I
of the
couldn't get
bots
my
on
hand
there.
around the concept of I mean my head around the concept of like him putting chips into people's brains. Like I
Yeah,
whether
the
whether
neural links.
whether that's true, that's just a huge rumor that was going around. I don't know if that
Oh,
was
it's true because he's trying to help people with medical
right,
issues and stuff.
right. And I mean
Yeah,
obviously if it's true, I mean if it is actually helping people medically, honestly that's actually a good thing. But I
yeah, but
mean
if
in the
you get
wrong
into the wrong hands of
that's
somebody,
what I was
because
just about to say. Like if you get that type of technology into the wrong hands, I mean you're going to be running into some sort of giant problem.
right,
So
it's interesting because I don't know if you ever seen like a video. It came out a while ago of him testing that chip into like a monkey, and the monkey was playing like a ping pong. You remember that old game ping pong, where you can like you pretty much with the two sticks and the digital you play back and forth
oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like the monkey was controlling it with the chip in his brain, and he was like controlling the analog stick with his mouth, and it's pretty much like telepathically going along whatever he was thinking in his head with the ball,
Wait,
and he's playing the game.
wait. So is this the same technology that Elon is actually
Yeah,
practicing?
yeah, he was like testing it on different animals, like sheep and monkeys, or
Interesting.
yeah. So
I mean, because monkeys
crazy.
that's actually a great choice of animal already, because they already have a level of understand, like some sort of acknowledgement of
Right.
like because we're really I mean, we're really close to that specific animal as far as DNA wise. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a monkey's like a great choice to really do a lot of researching and you know what I mean, testing out different type of technologies on, because obviously they've always been the test subject for if you're going back to like the 1950s, probably way before even
Right.
that. It's I don't know, it's actually a great choice of, I mean, it's sad for the monkey, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
They really do test dummies for
yeah,
experiments.
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool actually. I mean, I mean, was he able to, like, I mean, yeah, it seems like it was a successful research in that,
Right.
in that field of trying to like figure out what's up with him trying to move the what was it, like a joystick or something like that?
Yeah, it's like a joystick in his mouth, and he's pretty much controlling it through his mind from the chip.
Well, I think they have no choice but to test it on animals before they even test it on humans, right? Like
Right.
that's pretty much like what they would do, right? Because
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
obviously I hear a lot of, and pretty much, I mean, because I watch, who doesn't watch Joe Rogan, dude?
yeah,
So pretty much there's a lot of like scientists on that show as well that he always tends to get on there, and I mean, this is not talking about the same particular research of AI, but it was like involving in like viruses and stuff like that, where they were pretty much saying they were no longer really like trying to train, like they were not really trying to test basically any certain viruses or whatever the case is inside that lab of theirs. Um, because I think animals weren't really doing the task, so they were testing it on people actually.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So I'm like, so I mean, I guess we're getting to. I mean, we've always been having. I mean, I don't know. You got to be fucking crazy if you're gonna be like, voluntarily saying, "Hey, I want to test this out." It's actually, it's in the development stage, but you have no fucking clue what it could really do to you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that they're testing on you. I don't know. I mean, I don't care how much you're paying me. I just think that's too much.
Yeah, I would not be one of the first people to test something like that out.
Right. Like, you don't know. I mean, you might have a third eye.
Yeah, you get brain damage or whatever it may be. I'm good on that.
No, that's really cool though. I mean, to a certain degree, right? That's that's artificial intelligence, but I don't know, man. Like, what do you feel like that it can actually do for us? Potentially. I mean, because I mean, if you think about it, everything that we really technically own, like a cell phone, obviously in cars, soon enough, your fucking pencils.
Right. You probably won't even need a pencil pretty soon. You'll probably be able to get.
Well, everything, I mean, I feel as though a lot of people don't even write too much anymore on paper that much. Everything is like signed electronically.
Yeah, you look in every convenience store now, you can just sign it with the digital pen.
Penmanship is, I was gonna say penmanship is pretty much out the fucking window at this point.
Yeah, and you look inside like a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, you can just pretty much go to like a big tablet and just type in whatever your order is, and as soon as they're gonna probably get rid of the customer service of like the people behind the counter, just replace with AI.
Can you imagine that? Just going up to the fucking, you don't even have to talk anymore. I mean, I guess, I mean, for people that might, it depends on how it plays out. But if you got to think about it, like if you're just going up to a counter, right. And pretty much like, cause 9 times out of 10, most people just don't really, care enough to really want to, I mean, you have to take your order, obviously, but I'm saying like majority of the time you just, you want that luxury of just going over to a kiosk or something like that. And, just typing in your order and then kind of just going, waiting in line or waiting for your order to be done. Right. So, I mean, that I think there is some places already doing that. But it's just kind of like, it is a scary thing to think about. You know what I mean? Because, man, like I think since us going through COVID already as it was a difficult time for everybody. Right. So it's like, we're still trying to be connected in some shape or form, right? Because, the best part of life is having interactions with each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you kind of, if you're kind of doing, if AI advances, and I give it about like, a lot of people are speculating like maybe 5 years, 10 years or so. I mean, we're going to start seeing some crazy shit. It is. I mean, because most people don't really want to think about just anything with AI because they rather shy away from it than pretty much kind of look it in the face and pretty much try to understand like how it could be like it's really like it could be a great situation, but it could be a terrible situation at the same time.
Yeah, because what you was referencing earlier with the Joe Rogan when he was talking to the AI, I believe that was referencing Chat GPT, which is like a new thing that's been going viral everywhere, where I believe it's run by Google. It's pretty much like a plugin where you can like pretty much run it through any kind of website, and it's like a text bot where you can text back and forth with it, but it's different from like regular chat bots because it pretty much can like comprehend what you're saying and like can go based off of like different website sources, and it pretty much comes out to a conclusion with whatever you're trying to exit through that source. And it's like it picks up on like human interactions, and it makes like error. Whenever it makes an error, it fixes its mistakes over time, and it pretty much like picks up like attributes of a human. How like we try to fix our vocabulary or our grammar over time, which is
Really?
pretty crazy.
That is pretty
Like
crazy.
right now, it's in development of the point 5 version. It's currently in point 4.5 as of now.
Like I
That's
remember
actually
I remember seeing that company where they were already studying like robotics and stuff like that. I mean, I know it was an old video with you can actually see like the robot kind of doing flips or something like that in an obstacle
oh
course
yeah,
and doing like the small tasks with like holding a drink or something like that. It's
right.
fucking crazy, man, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe they're even using some of those droids as for the military as of now, like to rescue certain members
Oh
in the army and
no.
stuff like that. Yo,
You know, for me, I'm not really too political, guys. I just know when, you know, if you think about it, like I can't even get into like how much, you know, how much shit that we have is, you know, part of America and stuff like that and other countries out there, man. It's
oh yeah,
crazy. But to think about if we have some sort of robotic like robots or something like that, you know, it'll be a scary situation for
oh
sure.
yeah, for sure. If they start giving them guns, which I'm
I
pretty
know we're
sure
gonna start seeing
they
like iRobot. You know, I seen that movie.
have, yeah, it's gonna turn into the Terminator and shit. Oh man,
Um, you know, for me, man, like if I'm thinking about it too, like wouldn't it be beneficial if you, and they might, I don't know if they might have an AI, not like specifically thing, like a, you know, some sort of machine or any type of, you know, some type of robot and or some shit like that online. But I mean, like, you know, if it can actually help with, you know, some sort of way to, you know, I'm guessing assist with people who struggle with like, you know, some type of disability or anything like that. Like, how would this thing actually be beneficial for that? You know what I
right.
mean? Like, obviously, it's no cure. There's no medication in the world because even medication itself, I mean, yes, it helps cope with it, but it doesn't really cure it, right? Like, obviously,
It's
like if
like
you
a
think it,
temporary
if you
solution.
get an AI or some type of machine that can actually somewhat help in that process, like what do you feel like that it can do though? Like, what do you
Right.
feel like that it might actually help with people? You know, because you know, if you're gonna make something like this, it, you know, in the medical field, it would probably be. I think you should probably start making. I mean, because in the medical field, they actually do have some sort of form of AIs, but
Yeah.
not the ones that we're seeing where they're actually what replacing jobs,
Oh
replacing,
yeah.
yeah, replacing fucking, you know, life itself in a way. Like, you know, instead of trying to do all those things, I don't know, maybe try to go towards the medical field first because it might actually save lives, maybe.
Yeah. I know, like they do as of now, like have like some robot arms that are capable of like
Holding a
constructing
baby
like
and shit,
heart surgery and like different surgeries like that.
like holding a baby or something like that. I don't know.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know. I wouldn't trust a machine to hold my newborn child. I'll probably destroy it.
yeah, that would be really dangerous to do that. But I mean, if it can construct like heart surgery already, like and stuff like that, and like replace hearts, that's pretty advanced already.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I still wouldn't trust that because a lot can go wrong in that process of doing, you know, surgery. Even with someone with steady hands, I mean, obviously something can go horribly wrong. But a machine,
Right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's scary. I wouldn't trust
I mean,
that.
it's actually standard, like pretty much standard nowadays, right? Like, because if anybody's getting like something, you know, obviously like open heart surgery or something like they have to actually cut you open for,
Right.
it's done by a machine
Oh yeah.
theoretically. So, and everything is done by a machine, even if you're getting laser eye surgery or like, you know, something on your body, something. It's being done by a machine.
Yeah.
Um,
And as we said, with Elon trying to make this Neuralink chip thing, is who knows what that could cure, because he's trying to cure like Alzheimer's and like bad memory and stuff like that, and people that's disabled from their legs
I
and
think I think Sony needs to get involved.
oh well, it's funny because I remember in a couple episodes back you brought up the VR.
Yeah, I mean because it's
The
not
devices.
used to. It's I don't know how true the article was or how factual it was, guys. Don't quote me on it, but the thing is, it's like it's used to like I explained in the episode. It's it's like through an app. It's not like a, an actual function that's actually that was brought into the, that was installed into the headset itself. It's some sort of app that they're trying to use that it's I don't think it's promising. I think it's just a way to somewhat remember the sounds or something like that. It's like a wave or something like that in the headphones when you put it on as well. It's like a way for you to detect like early signs of Alzheimer's. So I mean, like, I don't know, like maybe Sony can do that. Maybe Sony can actually be beneficial for it. I mean, and that would be crazy too, because instead of, I don't think a lot of gamers will probably like, most people would be like, I don't give a shit that they're supposed to just be a gaming company. It's like, yeah, but they also have the moat that like these are very powerful companies themselves, right? Like, don't you think like they're not incapable of actually making something that can actually assist with the medical field itself?
I mean, yeah.
Like, yeah, like,
we also think about it because Sony, before PlayStation was out, it started off as like a technology company, so they was broad and
exactly.
the fields were.
They're and I know PlayStation specifically isn't a part of like, it's run by Sony, but they still I don't think like they can step out of their boundary. I mean, they're pretty much their own thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they would. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They have they all they work under the same umbrella. So it's kind of like, why not try to assist the medical field in that way?
Oh yeah, that's just in the bag for them,
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I mean, like, what else can you think like it can help with us? Like, because that has to be the biggest question of any. Like, I don't care if it's a podcast or if it's an interview, but like, what can this thing actually bring to the table besides actually trying to replace people?
Yeah. I feel like it also is helping with like people like that's lonely, like communication, because it's also. There's another thing.
Well,
that's going to rise with
that can be great actually, because no, not to a certain degree, but in a way, maybe if it's a free AI that is capable of actually assisting somebody that's actually suffering from depression, right? It can be very therapeutic. That can actually help with that process. Maybe
I was about to give an example too, because recently is this AI called this VTuber. If you guys are not familiar with VTubers, they're pretty popular now on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
but they're pretty much like AI. Well, face recognition of a character. A lot of them are like anime characters or like cartoon characters that you can pretty much mod yourself as, and it pretty much matches up your lip sync and your eyes, and you can use it as your avatar pretty much to do whatever kind of video. But recently it's this one VTuber called Nero Sema, and that VTuber is pretty much an AI. It's not an actual person, and it can actually play video games by itself and talk to the chat on Twitch or YouTube on its own, and it's pretty crazy. It's like, that's what I mean. Like it can like provide that feeling for somebody that's lonely, or like whoever is like trying to seek out somebody to have a conversation with,
right?
Seek attention.
Like, I mean, you should. I mean, I don't think it's healthy to still, stay in that, to stay talking to a machine. I mean, that's
no.
Yeah. We still encourage you to, guys, if you can. I mean, I know it's a rough world and it's tough out there, but definitely you have to try to talk to other people, man. It's just impossible. But I mean, like, what I mean by beneficial is like, and that's a great example, like you said before, like with the VTuber stuff. But if you think about it, if like, even if you have somebody who can't afford, if they're struggling with money, maybe they have a job that actually can provide, like, there's a lot of jobs out there that can't help you, like, they'll give you medical insurance, but as far as when it comes to therapy or something like that in the behavioral health system, it's kind of like, it's kind of difficult, you know what I mean, for some people out there. So if you think about it, when you actually have some sort of AI technology that's actually capable of maybe providing some sort of free services until you maybe you have you have some type of support until you have you have obviously you get the opportunity to meet with a real person. You know what I mean? Like maybe it could be
Yeah.
beneficial in that way.
It's
Obviously, I'm not going to
yeah.
compare it to a movie, guys. I've seen Megan. It was garbage. Okay. But I
Lord.
mean, like in a way, it's sort of right with something though. It's like you can't really depend on that machine to be able to carry your emotions, and you can't
Yeah.
rely on them too much because you know what
It
I
takes
mean.
you a serious
It's
place.
yeah.
'Cause we gotta remember, like these AI programs too, that are pretty dystopian as far as like the dialogue. It's just going based off of like other internet interactions. So it's not an actual person, obviously. It's just going off of different dialogues of what it studied throughout the time it was made. So
I will say this: I think we find ourselves having difficulties with like asking for help or something like that, because especially if we have machines who can actually, I don't know, maybe do math for us. I'm not the greatest at math. Maybe it can help me learn math a little bit, or whenever I actually need to take a measurement of something, or do something that's really quick in my head, I can ask it real quick and it could do it, and it can help me out in that. Like shit like that is actually it for me. I think it would be beneficial for me, but
yeah.
I mean, like I said, like I don't know, they're just going about it all wrong in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going way too fast. It's not like copyright, any infringements on anything, and it's all free will. It's like the west on how it's evolving right now, and I don't think
Yeah,
any kind of laws or regulations are being put on like some of these algorithms of how these systems are working. Because,
yeah,
for example, Dolly E is like well, I'm pretty sure everybody and mom know what this is by now because it's been everywhere. It's pretty much a text to image program, and there's different variations of it, of course, as we all know now. But you pretty much just do a text, and then whatever the subject is that you just text, it pretty much puts the image out, and you can do whatever with it. But the thing is, where it's getting the images from, it's like it's pretty much grabbing it from the free source of a Google image, a Bing, or whatever kind of image search it's grabbing the information from, and it's taking copyrighted material like from other artists and is using it as its own. People can pretty much take somebody else's art and use it as whatever product as they willing to, and it's kind of messed up because, well, it's not even kind of, it's pretty much messed up because
yeah,
you're stealing somebody else's work that they worked hard on.
yeah. I was gonna say because I know you take part in that field, because you know what I mean. You're an artist and you actually do freelancing jobs for people,
Yeah.
and I was gonna ask you, like, that must be devastating for you, especially that it's a machine that can actually just replicate somebody's skill set in seconds. Like, how do you like? Isn't that crazy? That's
Yeah,
crazy,
with
right?
somebody that doesn't want to take the time to craft their skills of trying to learn how to do illustration or drawing, they can just easily just type it up and it spits it out, and then there you go. And that's the thing too. And it doesn't help that like websites like Fiverr and DeviantArt are just implementing those systems onto their platforms as well. And it's making it harder for freelancers to actually progress in their career. Cause it's like you're pretty much replacing the artist that built your website for you. It's like, come on, it's messed up. Like, why would you put a system like that on Fiverr? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't even know what was the initial plan for that. I mean, because I think like developers are so excited to, show the world something like this, but
They
yeah,
just see
but
the
you also,
profit.
yeah, I know, but it's like when you're doing something like this, man, like other people, and then it's like it gives people the wrong impression, right? Like, because if you think about it, like anybody can just be like, huh, if I even wanted to get into a field without having to try and become an actual great artist by taking time and actually learning the fundamentals of how to actually become a great artist, why do that when I can have an AI that can do it in 5 seconds? So
Yeah,
it's like it's not something that you would want to be like. It's exciting for the developers, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword right there.
right.
You know.
Yeah, because even like recently, Netflix actually picked up a new anime. It's gonna be with like a boy and his dog, Yeah, but the thing is, the background is going to be all AI generated with the animation. So it's even dabbling into like animation now, where you're going to get rid of people that worked harder at learning how to do animation all their life, and you just toss them to the side for like an AI program and just call it a day, just to, push out a product.
Yeah, to me that's not right, man.
Yeah.
See.